Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for April 27th, 2012. This is the last Friday of April, and starting next week, we'll head into May on Tuesday. But anyway, it is 8:30 a.m., and right now we're pretty much near normal where we should be for this time of year over the interior, over northeastern Pennsylvania, and over portions of the Hudson River Valley. Temperatures are in the upper 30s to lower 40s. Over the rest of the region, temperatures range anywhere from the mid 40s to even the lower 50s over southern New Jersey. And we do have a nice northwesterly wind ranging anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour. So, why do we have this strong northwesterly wind, but at the same time, generally clear skies? Well, you can thank the interaction between this low pressure system and this high pressure system. What's happening here is that this low pressure system is intensifying while this high pressure system is building into the Great Lakes and northern Mid Atlantic, and that produces what's called a pressure gradient. So as a result, you end up with a strong northwesterly wind that's going to continue to be an impact anywhere between 10 to 20 miles per hour through this afternoon and into portions of the evening hours. The winds will decline to 5 to 15 miles per hour by this evening. The good news is that with high pressure building in, pretty much clear skies can be expected, with temperatures slightly below normal in the upper 50s to lower 60s for much of the region. Of course, if you're around Long Island, the wind coming off of the Long Island Sound will keep temperatures mostly in the 50s. So, for the most part, we're dealing with a typical spring day with windy conditions. A good day to fly a kite, let's just put it that way. Now, when we take a look at the infrared satellite picture, a few things that stand out to me. For my premium members who have been reading my long range discussions, especially about this upcoming summer, this right here is very interesting to me. This is part of the subtropical jet stream. And for all of you who have been reading about my thoughts about the hurricane season, the fact that this is popping up already does have some interesting implications for the tropical season, which basically means that, well, perhaps the East Coast is spared, but not so much the Gulf Coast. Keep an eye on that as we move forward over the next couple of months. As far as the forecast for today, here's our low pressure system intensifying, heading out into the Canadian Maritimes. This low pressure system is actually going to have a long-term impact on the weather pattern, at least for the next few weeks. That is going to be pretty interesting. I'm going to show you on the model guidance in just a minute. But you can see high pressure building in, skies clearing out. We do have 1 week disturbance moving over the Great Lakes with a little bit of enhancement of cloud cover, but no precipitation whatsoever. And of course, we have a strong area low pressure over the eastern slope of the Rockies. That will continue to lift north and east and will not have an impact on the weather pattern, at least for the next couple of days. So let's take a look at the latest forecast guidance from the Penn State EWOL website, an excellent website for model guidance. Of course, we're using the European model guidance, which has been the most consistent model guidance over the past several weeks. Now, for this evening, here's our storm exploding in the Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of Maine, should I say, and the Canadian Maritimes. Keep an eye on this trough. Meanwhile, we have another disturbance that's lifting north. For the most part, high pressure is in control. Tomorrow, look what happens to our storm. It just explodes over the Canadian Maritimes. We have a very impressive trough. That means, of course, that our weather conditions will be rather cool. Temperatures this weekend will be below normal, generally in the mid to upper 50s, a few lower 60s over the Philadelphia metropolitan area. Clearly, a cool weather pattern is in place for this weekend, but also notice that the majority of the lifting is focused over the Canadian Maritimes with this powerful storm. And that means we can expect dry conditions for the most part. Now, on Saturday night into Sunday morning, which is this disturbance right here, we will be dealing with a few widely scattered showers. This is not a washout at all, but a few widely scattered to isolated showers will be a threat for Saturday night into Sunday morning. If you have any outdoor plans, don't cancel them. Just be aware that there could be a shower or two. For much of Saturday, it'll be dry. For much of Sunday, it'll be dry. It's that one period between, let's say, 10 p.m. Saturday through 8 a.m. Sunday, where you're going to have a threat for a few showers here and there as that disturbance moves through. The rest of the weekend will be nice and comfortable. And now, as you can see, our storm really explodes over the Canadian Maritimes. Even on Sunday, it's very well developed. But this deep trough is going to have an impact on the overall pattern. Because what's going to happen as this trough and these energies starts to transfer throughout the rest of the polar jet stream, it enhances a trough over Europe. Now, why is that important? I'll show you in just a moment. So here we are, our trough is pushing out into the Canadian Maritimes. The rest of the pattern is pretty much zonal. So what we have building into the United States is a Pacific air mass. Pacific air masses are known, especially in the spring and the summer, to moderate very nicely, and usually that translates to very warm temperatures over much of the United States. So this Pacific air mass moves over the United States, over the Rockies, warms up very nicely in the plains, and that translates to the east. And that means next week temperatures will be warming up into the 70s. But what about this trough? Well, take a look at this. The trough lifts north. Our pattern continues to become zonal, a little bit more of a ridge. Now this is going to mean as this warm air is advancing to the north and east into this weakening polar marine air mass, that we're going to be dealing with a few scattered showers here and there on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Not a washout, but a few scattered showers as this warm air tries to invade. Also be on guard for a little bit of fog as well, especially on Wednesday and Thursday. But at the same time, the trade-off is that in the afternoon, when it's not raining, temperatures will be pushing into the upper 60s to mid 70s, and eventually the upper 70s by the middle to end of next week. Now, as we move in towards the long-range forecast, take a look at this ridge right here. This starts to get very interesting because this ridge right here is a counterbalance to a deep trough over northern Europe and a deep trough over the Gulf of Alaska. What that means for the northern mid-Atlantic is that you have disturbance after disturbance moving along the U.S.-Canadian border, which means the storm track is to the north of the Philadelphia, New York City metropolitan area, which means that there will be a threat for scattered showers on and off every other day, but it also means we're going to be on the warm side of this weather pattern. As you can see, we are warm. Now, what that generally means is that it's going to get very hot in the plains. It's going to get pretty hot in the southeast. We're talking about above normal temperatures here. And notice we have a nice high pressure system setting up off the Florida coast. You can see that very nicely with the winds at 850 millibars. But that also means that the northern mid-Atlantic, which is where we live, will also see slightly above normal temperatures ranging in the upper 60s to mid 70s, but we'll also see comfortable conditions. It won't be overwhelming. The humidity is going to remain low. So really, with this type of upper level pattern setup, what we're ending up with for much of the start of May is above normal temperatures but pleasant conditions, a shower here and there to prevent a major drought, and overall a very nice weather pattern. So it looks like things are setting up very nice with this weather pattern, and it's going to be an enjoyable weather pattern heading into May. So that is your forecast discussion for today. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Of course, you can follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Twitter and Facebook. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe out there.